Venture is here, Hanaoka is here, and Mythic Mercy is here. Season 10 is packed with content, so let's begin with the balance changes first, but a quick reminder to get your Cyclops Roadhog skin for free via Twitch drops by watching my stream for 9 hours, linked in the description. First up, quality of life buff for Doomfist's Rocket Punch. The empowered punch is no longer consumed when the windup is cancelled by using Seismic Slam or Power Block. The devs comment, this quality of life improvement streamlines the transition between charging up an empowered rocket punch and another ability by removing the requirement of pressing the cancel input first. Junker Queen is surprisingly getting another buff. The Carnage impact damage is increased from 90 to 105. Reinhardt's getting some much needed buffs as well. The Earth Shatter knockdown duration is increased from 2.75 to 3 seconds, so they're stunned for a longer time. The shockwave range itself is also getting a range increase from 20 meters to 25 meters. Sigma's experimental barrier movement speed is increased from 16.5 to 20 meters per second. The devs comment that this change will improve Sigma's ability to protect allies that are further away from him. Wrecking Ball is getting some massive changes this patch. The grappling claw can now retract. You hold the jump input while the grappling claw is attached to terrain to retract it, pulling yourself towards the anchor point, so you no longer need to do the dangle of shame when you oopsies off Legion Gardens. I know every ball player has done this, let's not kid ourselves here. This button can be rebound in the hero settings. Grappling Claw's cooldown has also been reduced from the default 5 seconds to 1 second only, if you happen to never reach fireball speed before canceling the ability. If you interrupt ball with hack, hinder, stuns, or whatever, it will still trigger the full 5-second cooldown. So this change is really nice if you start with like a bad grapple spot and want to quickly redo it. And finally, the max grapple timer of 6 seconds is no longer triggered unless ball reaches fireball speed, so you can just hang on waiting if you really want to. For Adaptive Shield, you can now reactivate the ability to redistribute up to 300 overhealth to nearby allies, capping at 75 per person, making Ball an actual tank, I guess. Additionally, the enemy and ally detection radius is increased from 10 to 13 meters, so you can grab the overhealth easier from enemies and also send it back to your team from quite a distance away. Minefield's health is now increased from 50 to 60 as well. The devs comment that the general goals here are to add a direct way for Wrecking Ball to support his allies aside from purely enemy team disruption, making the hero more approachable while also adding more avenues for skill expression and improving the quality of life around the grapple. For Sombra, the virus's total damage over time is decreased from 100 to 90. For Tracer, we have some nerfs as well. The recall cooldown is increased from 12 to 13 seconds, and the pulse bomb's projectile size is being reduced from 0.35 meters to 0.25 meters, so it will be a little harder to stick somebody. The devs comment that there is now more downtime before Tracer can safely re-engage after driving her away, and pulse bomb will require more precision. Venture is going straight into competitive play on day 1. In the previous seasons of Overwatch, they'd always leave the new heroes out for 2 weeks, but now that every hero is unlocked for free, it seems they've changed their protocol on this. So with that being said, Venture did have that 3-day free trial a few weeks ago, and they're being slightly nerfed for day 1 of season 10. The drill dash impact damage is going to be decreased from 60 to 40, but the damage over time is being increased from 40 to 60. For Clobber, the impact damage is decreased from 40 to 30, but the damage over time is increased from 30 to 40. For Tectonic Shock, the vertical knockback is going to be decreased by 30% as well. So the devs comment that we're redistributing the damage on some of their abilities so that positioning relative to the enemy and tracking a target are more important for dealing that maximum damage. For Illari, the solar rifle's primary fire recovery rate is going to be increased from 0.2 to 0.25 seconds. That's a nerf. You have to wait a longer time between shots. To compensate, her secondary fire beam heal per second is going to be increased from 105 to 115. For Lucio, the sonic amplifier, that's his weapon, the damage per projectile is going to be decreased from 20 to 18, but the sound wave, the boop, the damage is going to be increased from 35 to 45. For Lifeweaver, his rejuvenating dash will now heal more from 50 to 60. For Tree of Life, the pulse healing is also going to be increased from 75 to 90. And finally, for Moira, the biotic grasp damage per second is going to be decreased from 65 to 60. But for Coalescence, the self-heal per second is going to be increased from 50 to 55. That's it for the balance changes. Next on this patch is the new game mode Clash. They're still fine-tuning the balance for this, so it will be here for a limited time trial for 2 weeks, from April 16th to April 29th, on Hanaoka, which is an inspired map from the classic Overwatch 1 map Hanamura. Teams battle back and forth over 5 capture points. The one in the middle is neutral, point C, with each captured area adding 1 point to that team's score. Teams win in 2 ways, by either capturing all the way to either A or E, depending on which side you're on, or scoring 5 capture points. This is what point A looks like on one end, point B. This is point C, the neutral point that everybody fights at the beginning, point D, and then point E. The aesthetic is there. For competitive, previous grouping restrictions are now removed, and all groups are now classified as narrow or wide. If you're a solo queue player, you'll always be a narrow group, and narrow players only face narrow, and wide groups only face wide. So with that being said, if you're a platinum player and have a bronze friend, you can queue together now, but you'll be referred to as a wide group, and the matchmaker will try to find another wide group that has a similar role delta. So a plat tank with a bronze support will try to find another plat tank and a bronze support. You won't get like a plat DPS with the bronze tank, for example. There's a whole longer list of conditions of the new ranked matchmaking system. I'll just put it up on the screen, but I paraphrased the most important parts for you already. There's now an anonymous setting called Hide My Name in the social options, which displays a random anonymized battle tag to all the players in the match. So if I turn this on and queue up, people won't see KarQ in their quick play match, they'll see Overclocked. Couple big changes for Mythic skins. There's now a Mythic shop that can only be purchased with Mythic prisms. You can buy these prisms separately for a price right here, or if you look at the battle pass, obviously no longer get a Mythic skin at level 80, but instead you get Mythic prisms starting at level 8 and every 10 levels after that. So level 18, 28, 38, etc. You only need 50 prisms to buy a base Mythic skin, but if you want the full set, you do need 80, which can be earned by just completing the battle pass like normal, or if you're a person who missed previous season battle passes, you can use your prisms to buy old ones. Maybe spend 50 to buy the base Mercy, and then spend 50 to buy the base Genji Mythic because you missed it in season 1. Weekly challenges are now changing in season 10, where it now rewards additional battle pass XP, and the Overwatch coins that were earned previously in the weekly challenges are now earned in the battle pass instead. Previously, you'd only be able to earn 540 Overwatch coins, but now you can get 600 coins by completing the Battle Pass instead. There's also a reduction of the number of weekly challenges as well. And that should be the bulk of the Season 10 patch. Full notes are linked in the description, and I'll see you in-game.